Hi, Dr. Anthony Rivers here. And in this introductory video to Chapter 1, we're just going to help you become familiar with the material there. And this is just really an overview of the chapter. It's really not an in-depth lecture by any stretch of imagination. The intent of it is to help introduce the concepts that you're going to see, to help you get a little bit comfortable with them, all right, before you get to the formal lecture. So now, when we talk about these, I'm going to talk really informal about them, okay? So be aware of that. And I'm also going to use some notes to help me stay on track. So, Chapter 1 is called Essential Ideas. So when you think about these essential ideas, you're really going to learn definitions and the language of science and the language of chemistry. So that is an adjustment to simply learning the language. So don't be put off by any of the terms you hear. They'll become more familiar to you and you'll become more comfortable with them. The way to get through them, however, is to memorize them. So memorize the new definitions and the new language that you're learning. That's the way we get through it. Now, in this chapter, you're going to learn something about phases and classification of matter. Well, the good news is when it comes to phases, there are only 4 that you're going to talk about in this class. Solid, liquid, gas, plasma. That's it. It's either solid, liquid, gas, plasma. That's the answer, okay? Those are the only 4 choices you have. Memorize that, you'll do just fine. When it comes to classification, that means which category are you going to put it in? Is it a red box, a green box, a blue box? Things that have categories of a red box, go in the red box. Green box, go in the green box. Blue box, go in the blue box. And so you're going to learn that. So as you go through this, when you hear characteristics about material, composition of matter, they're the same, that means they go into the same category. Again, by the way, this is really informal when I talk about it, okay? If I make mistakes along the way, I'm going to correct myself as I go. Be aware of that. All right? Now, measurements. When it comes to measurements, chemists are extremely picky about the measurement. Yes, we are extremely picky. So you want to know that, and you will want to become picky about the measurements. That means you'll have to learn new processes and new ways of thinking about things you already know. For example, if you measured something to 12 inches, you report it as 12 inches. If a scientist measured something to 12 inches and it was exactly 12 inches, it will be 12.0 because we always give an indication of the amount of uncertainty or the amount of accuracy in our measurement. So we're going to think about accuracy, precision, and uncertainty. We're going to think about those terms. So when a scientist says it's 12.0, it's telling we stuck it right on the nose, 12. If we set 12.2, then that means, well, it's a little bit off. You got it? So be aware of that. Oh, by the way, for example, if I measure something to 12.5 inches, 12 and a half inches, I'll report it as 12.50 if I measure it exactly 12 and a half. You'll always have what's called a guess digit at the end. Okay? So that's an example of it. So keep that in mind. We're really picky about those types of things. That brings it again, uncertainty. We've given you some indication of that. That's just an idea of how sure you are about your values and your measurements. And then you have precision and accuracy. Now let's talk about accuracy first. Accuracy is, did you hit it? Did you hit the bullseye? That's it. If you were aiming for 10, did you get 10 or how close to 10 you got? That's your accuracy. Precision is how often did you reproduce that same result? You could be off the mark. You're aiming for the bullseye and you hit it on the outer ring, but you hit it the same way every time. You're very precise. You're just terrible with your accuracy. You get it? So be aware of that. You want to differentiate those terms, and we do differentiate those. The other thing you'll find in this class is with regard to mathematical manipulations, we are again very picky and very strict about those things. You'll be learning how to set up what's called a dimensional analysis, do calculation that you already know how to do in your head with your fingers and your toes. However, the process is very important to the discipline of the science and trustworthiness of the science, and that's why we'll take you through that. So get over your frustration early on because you will need to learn that. You will not escape Chem 111 without learning that process, and it will hurt you if you don't go ahead and learn it in the first chapter. So be aware of it. Get through your frustrations, whatever it takes to do that. Go out, shoot hoops, see a movie, whatever, dance, whatever it takes. Get over your frustration because you will need to learn that process. Okay? The other thing you will be learning that will be very important is something called significant figures. Yeah, you will want to get good at those as well because those will follow you throughout your entire chemistry career. Now, I have several YouTubes of my own that I make independent of everything else I do. And so you can find those, but you want to learn how to do these. So you're going to go through phase and classification of matter. You want to think about solid, liquid, gas, plasma, which box, red, blue, green, A, B, C, which closet, which rack do I hang it on? Physical, chemical properties that we didn't talk about. Let's talk about those. Physical and chemical properties. Physical properties mean it is what it is. That's it. Is that natural to it? Yep, then that's a physical property. Okay, for example, okay, the aroma, odor of a rose, it is what it is? Yep, then that's a physical property. Is it brown? Yes. Okay, is it blue? Yes. Is it wet? Yes. Is it hot? Yes. All physical properties. Chemical properties mean you carried out some type of reaction or transformation. You baked the cookies. It changed from cookie dough to cookies that you can consume and eat. That is chemistry. You took wood, you chopped the wood, that's physical because it is what it is. It's still just chopped wood. But when you burn that wood, then it is chemical. So you want to know that and be able to differentiate that. And again, we have measurements, very picky about them, accuracy, precision, important concepts that you pay close attention to. And the mathematical treatments, you will want to change your habits and get good at following the process of dimensional analysis. All right, hopefully that helps you get you started, and that's the only purpose of this video, is to get you started in chapter 1. All right, take care.